On page 8, we begin our discussion about combination policies. So, no more annuities. We're back to discussing how life insurance products might be grouped together in a combination product. Combination products were usually invented as a marketing tool so that you could sell more than one policy. The first combination plan on page 8 that we need to understand is called the family policy. The family policy covers, just like it sounds, the entire family. The family policy covers the entire family. What is it you need to feel comfortable with? It is whole life on the primary breadwinner. Whole life on the primary breadwinner plus level convertible term on the spouse plus the kids. It covers, just like it sounds, the entire family. So the family policy, this primary breadwinner's policy is sometimes called the base plan. And then we're going to add insurance, that's term insurance, on other insureds through means of what are called other insured riders. So other insured, it's term insurance covering the spouse, and we add an other insured rider to cover the kids added to the whole life policy. So remember, it was a way to sell more than one policy. Other insured rider. Now, with the family policy, you know a few things just by the virtue of the fact that it is a family policy. What do you know about whole life? What can you tell me that you know about how this policy works? How long does whole life last for? Until age 100. You know that because you know what whole life is. Now, I said kids. I didn't say 1 kid or 2 kids or 5. It's simply all kids are covered. How much protection do they need? It's a very small face amount. Let's say it's $5,000. $5,000, $10,000, very small, something to offset, Lord forbid, should something happen to one of your children, funeral expenses. So the kids are covered until they are the age of 18. So kids are covered until the age of 18, at which point they could convert because it is level convertible term. So all kids are covered. They're not covered for the first 30 days after birth, however, but after that they're automatically covered. It's a small face amount. Who do you think has the most insurance? The primary breadwinner or the spouse? The primary breadwinner, of course. Let's give them a $100,000 face amount. The middle face amount is the spouse. So really the only person that we don't know exactly how much they have, with the exception of we know it's in the middle of these two policies, is the spouse. It will have to tell you in the test question how much insurance the spouse has and how long it's good for. So let's just make something up. Let's say it has a $50,000 face amount, the spouse, and it's good for 20 years. Now, the family policy, in a test question, they'd have to say that this policy, the one that I put on the board, was purchased in the year, let's say, 1990. Okay? Everything on the board is true. So purchased in 1990. And let's say the test question says that the spouse dies in 2015. That's what it says in the question. The question is, how much is paid? Well, let's see. It was purchased in 1990. How long was the spouse's coverage good for? 20 years. When did she die? 25 years later. What's paid? Nothing. So she has to die within the term, which she did not in this example. So let her policy drop off. The overall cost of the policy would go down slightly. She would have had no coverage. What if she had died in the year 2005? Then how much would have paid? Then the full $50,000 face amount would have paid out. It is level term, so that if she dies during those 20 years, the full face amount is paid. How long does the base plan go for? Until the primary breadwinner dies, or they each reach age 100, and we know the kids have a little bit of insurance until age 18. That is the family policy. The second combination plan that we need to know is called the family income policy. So the family income policy does not cover the entire family. That's the family policy. The family income policy covers the primary breadwinner only. It covers the primary breadwinner only. So the family income policy covers the primary breadwinner only, one person. What is it you need to know? It is whole life, plus, on the same person, decreasing term. Whole life plus decreasing term on the same primary breadwinner, because it only covers one person. So when you add term insurance to whole life on the same insured, it's called term insurance rider. It's a term insurance rider. Now there's a couple of tricks to this question. You already know that whole life covers the primary breadwinner until they are age 100. We'll give it the same $100,000 face amount that we've been talking about all along. The tricks to this policy is the fact that the decreasing term portion of this policy always pays first, and that it pays out a dollar amount monthly. It's just how it's set up. And that the term starts when the policy was purchased. The term starts at policy inception. So that the time on the term starts ticking down immediately when the policy was purchased. So let's just give an example. Let's say that this policy was purchased in the year 2000, okay? Purchased in 2000. And let's say the decreasing term is designed to pay out $5,000 a month for 10 years. For 10 years. That's what it says in the question. So if the primary breadwinner is the dad, and the dad died in 2002, you know that the $5,000 a month is going to pay first. How long will it pay for? Well, let's see. We're 2 years into the 10-year term. So there's only 8 years left for 8 years, which could have also been said like this. Take the year it was purchased, 2000, and add to it how long is the term? 10 years. So it's going to pay $5,000 a month until the year 2010. It's the same answer. And then at the end of the monthly payments, it's going to pay the whole life face amount. And then $100,000. So let's practice this. Let's say this time the dad died in 2005. $5,000 a month for how many years are left? 5 years, which would be the same thing as saying until 2010, and then $100,000, and then $100,000. What if the dad died in 2009? $5,000 a month, how many years are left? For 1 year, or until 2010, and then $100,000. What if he died in 2012? Is there any dollar amount monthly left? No, the overall cost of the policy went down at the end of those 10 years, so there's none of that to pay out, but whole life still exists. So in that question, if he died in the year 2012, just the whole life face amount would pay out, because this portion of the policy would have dropped off, the overall cost of the policy would have gone down. It's called family income. The third combination plan that we need to feel comfortable with is at the top of page 9. The top of page 9, you will see the policy called joint life. So joint life is a policy that insures 2 or more people, but usually husband and wife. This policy is going to pay out when the first party dies. Joint life. It's called a first to die policy. Joint life. Much more common to see joint and survivor. So joint life pays when the first spouse dies. Oh, let me ask you this. Let's say that my husband and I are contemplating buying 2 individual policies or 1 joint life. Which would be less expensive? 2 individual policies or 1 joint life? 1 joint life? Yes, of course, because it's only going to pay when the first one of us dies. Joint and survivor is a policy that also insures 2 or more people, but typically husband and wife, pays when the survivor dies. This is a last to die policy, when the last party dies. Joint and survivor policies. So let's think about it. Husband dies, then the wife dies. Why do you need insurance? A big need for your wealthy clients will be the need to sell them something that will fund any estate tax issues. Survivorship life, sometimes called joint and survivor. So same, they can call it either one. Survivorship life or joint and survivor is sold to fund estate taxes. Estate taxes are due at the death of the last spouse. Now, not all estates are taxable. It depends upon the current estate tax limit for this specific year. But it is important to understand a few things here. One of them is this: face amounts of life insurance are included in your taxable estate. Face amount of your life insurance is included in the insured's taxable estate. So remember how we said the beneficiary gets the money tax-free? That is true, but it is included in the insured's taxable estate. Now, if I die first and then my husband dies, it's when he dies. Everything we own, our house, our stocks, our bonds, and our life insurance face amounts, if it's more than the current year's estate tax limit, we trigger the death tax, this estate tax. What kind of a policy could someone have sold me to fund the estate taxes that are due upon the last one of us dying? Survivorship life, or joint and survivor, it's sometimes called. So survivorship life. It's a last to die policy. That is the end of our life insurance section 1, types of policies. I suggest that you refer to the outline for your state so that you can make yourself a note of how many questions, based upon the outline for your state, you can expect to have on this section 1, types of policies. It will tell you in your outline. Now remember that we have, starting on page 11, a section 1, key facts. If I told you key facts were answers to the test, would you read them? Okay, read them. It's bullet points. It's the things you need to know. It's not so much going back and reading the book again. It's knowing the key facts and practicing the exams that will make all of the difference for you when you take your insurance test.